Man, imagine starting a YouTube channel called the Universal News Network, and all you do is travel around to different theme parks and like review them, and that's your job.
Sounds like a shit job.
I know, sounds so rough. My goodness. This is in February. I should say we're watching a video of people walking into Bowser's castle at the Universal.
Oh wait, February? So these are probably the people then that got the passes to like be like the first people to actually.
I guess so.
First or
yeah, like the early bird special. I like that statue.
Yeah. Well,
it's actually pretty cool. Yeah.
I like mixed on it because you know. Bowser would be the person.
I mean,
the whatever he is.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's the kind of villain who would just have a statue of himself right in the middle of this room. Yeah.
I love the idea that like, Peach and Bowser have actually had like a secret affair, but they don't want to tell Mario, so they pretend like she's kidnapped every time.
Oh, Mario!
Oh no! You saved me! Oh. Man, this guy's his camera. He can't focus with shit. Like, he constantly like is in and out.
I know Princess Peach is not my mama. Are you sure about that?
So they get the Mario Kart right next door.
Well, yeah. This is a Mario Kart ride.
Yeah, this is a long line. My goodness, they were prepared. Why does this camera keep going out of focus? No limits.
No limits.
No limits.
But here are the rules.
Yoshi's Egg Market. It's just drugs.
Wait, hold on.
Bowser oil.
I just thought of something.
What?
This is Japan. Yeah.
Everything's in English.
Everything's in English, and not only that, I expect like there to be like different names for, characters we know, but like they call them in Japan something different.
Yeah, like.
But no, it seems to be pretty like 1-to-1. Lemmy, Ludwig.
That's weird.
Huh, that's kind of funny.
They just knew. They knew the audience they were attracting.
Just suddenly.
I don't know. Is Mario all that popular in Japan?
No.
I would assume so.
I think it's pretty popular.
Oh, there it is.
I'd like to imagine though is like.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
But like once it's like over in like once it like comes over to America, it's all in Japanese instead.
I just realized we talked so much about this video, we basically have to commentate over it, so I'm gonna like it.
We just been reduced to a reaction channel now.
Okay, future Brendan, we're at 4 minutes and 17 seconds, 18 seconds, 19 seconds. Okay, now you can sync it. Hope you're having a good day, bud.
He's gonna hate the fuck out of you. You know that, right?
Yeah, I gotta download this random ass video.
They really were prepared for this.
I know this keeps and there's like layers to it. What Mario Party game was it in? They had like that kart battle thing. You guys know what I'm talking about? Was that 8?
Are you talking about 6? The game Mario Kart?
No. There was a Mario Party game that had like a go-kart battle system, or not a go-kart battle, but like you built like a tank or something.
I think that might have been 10.
I feel like because it was for the GameCube, because I remember playing it on the GameCube.
Well, there was 6, and I think 6 and 7 I think were on GameCube.
The amount of kanji they're using here is a little weird. That's the language, right? The written language of
it's in Japan it's Japanese, but it's like kanji or hiragana.
Yeah.
Is there like Romani?
It just keeps going. Oh my god. The people in front of them are wearing okay, that's a little sad. I just noticed that that's like the 12th hand sanitizing station. How many times do you just sanitize your hands? Well, I guess the line is so long. I guess it wears off,
bruh.
I mean, okay, I kind of like this little library here. Oh,
now we're in Luigi's Mansion, like randomly.
Huh. Try on the Poltergeist 3000.
Team Copa, Team Mario. Isn't the Copa stuff like more popular in Japan than it is here? Like, or aren't they called something? I don't have no idea. I don't know the Mario deep lore.
I mean, I remember. I think in Japan, like Bowser was called King Koop. No, never mind. I think it was backwards. It was like he was always Bowser, but in America they kept calling him King Koopa.
I have no idea.
Localization was weird. Oh, that's a little neat. I mean, I like the little, like, how cartoony everything looks.
Man, imagine just trying to get on this ride when no one's here.
God damn it. I can't remember what ride it was. I swear there was, like, the occasional line where it's like, we're walking, and we're just like, God damn it, how long is this thing?
I don't know if this is something I like made up in my head or if it's something I actually witnessed, but I remember in high school when we did our high school Universal trip, somebody was waiting. one of our either like some kid from another school, or one kid from from our class or something was in line ahead of me, and it was the Harry Potter ride, and there was a bit of the Harry Potter ride where line for the Harry Potter ride. I think it was the Hogwarts one, where the line was so long that it goes past a little like park, and it was nothing but like trees and grass or whatever. It doesn't even connect to anything. It was just forest.
That's cool.
And the guy sat on the railing and then fell backwards down the hill and then came back in the line. I remember thinking that kid was such a jackass. I don't remember who it was. Oh yeah, it was me. I'm just kidding.
So that ghost effect was pretty neat.
I don't know. The best one I saw was in the Hogwarts one. That was actually pretty good. Like the Hall of Paintings they did.
Oh, I think that the Harry Potter section did a good job with like the movie pictures, like even with the newspaper.
Yeah, it's just that the rides are kind of lame. How long is this? Holy shit.
I mean, there is one ride that I really did like, but I'll save that for when we're done here.
Okay, at 8:30, Brendan, I went to double speed. Alright, so now I'm going to play the video. Oh, look at that. Oh, there's all this stuff going on. Wow, there's a little bit of collections. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, wow, there's fire.
Oh, wow, there's fire.
Fire bad. Bowser oil.
There's oil, yeah. Oh, that's a little neat.
Building the bombas.
Showing the creation of the bombs. Again, I do think there's like
oh, they gave you like a visor?
Yeah, it's like an actual like VR thing from what I understand.
Oh, it's actually just Oculus.
Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty much you're playing an Oculus game.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Okay, we got the shot. And we got the shot. We got the shot.
After all that, you're really just playing the arcade version of Mario Kart.
Yeah, they have you sit in that entire like huge line, and then you just sit at they give you a Switch, and they're like, okay, play Mario Kart.
Is that guy in the bottom right Reggie?
No.
Why can't it be? It looks a lot like him.
Okay, that's distressing.
I wonder if Nintendo appreciates this guy just filming everything here.
I know. Maybe they should just tear down the ride because people would just film it and upload it to YouTube.
Sorry, everyone. This was back in February when it wasn't like readily available too. So just like, well, some guy on the internet spoiled the surprise. So Nintendo Land's shutting down, everyone.
Yeah, because we're all like just about to go to Japan. Like we're just so close. We could go any day now. The cube is off color. We have the audio muted, but I really wish one of the guys was like, and this is the ride. Okay, so there is some kanji there. Oh, roadkill. Okay, I see what it is.
Fucking drive-by shooting.
This just keeps going.
Well, yeah, it's Nintendo. They gotta explain how everything works.
The line that never ends.
Oh my goodness. Ah,
Oh wait, so everyone has a turn? Oh no.
we've got to make it fair. You get a participation trophy
Yeah, but
for finishing.
there's
the
always
ride.
going to be that. There's always that one dickhead who's going to like when you're turning left, he's turning right, just so that no one else can have fun.
Dude, that guy had like a white fox coat. Did you see that? Like a
yeah.
wool, not wool, but like big fur coat.
It just keeps going.
It might be like a Mario Tanuki suit.
I really want this to just keep going, and all of a sudden they're just out.
They don't even keep the visor. They just.
It's just a walking experience.
Yeah.
Epic walking simulator.
All right, now you had the pit stops. They're waving to people. It seems like the ride. They're clapping.
They always
Got
got
a coin. I
They
never
be
understood
clapping.
clapping at the end of a ride. Is it like a, oh, thank God we lived kind of thing, or?
That's what my guess is. They're like, good job, you survived. Oh, whoa, okay. I don't think the camera does the VR thing.
No, because it looks
here.
terrible.
Yeah,
And it looks like they did kind of build the ride. It looks like a cross between like the Simpsons ride and the Men in Black thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's some interactivity, like being able to aim and like shoot at other opponents, but
Yeah. I'm definitely not really.
this looks
Get-
a little
feel
too
much-
chaotic.
This is like a mess. Like I can't even tell what's going on.
Yeah, I think it might be a situation where like it feels better than it looks.
Yeah.
But right now I'm not sold here, dog.
It just looks like a mess of colors. Like it feels like you're just like waiting to get a seizure or something. Like, and the changing environments is really weird too. Okay, now you're in Luigi's Mansion. Okay, now you're in the clouds. Okay, now you're underwater. Okay, now you're.
Jimmy
also,
Fallon
like-
ride summarized.
I don't know. Also, given your speed, doesn't really look like you're racing. You're just kind of cruising.
Yeah, it
along.
looks like you're just cruising along, and then you hit the thing, which has never been a component of. I guess balloon battle. When are we getting a new Mario Kart? I just thought of that. Another on Rainbow Road, which of course you had to do. Why? Hold on. Why isn't Rainbow Road its own roller coaster?
Honestly, I always assumed that for like a Mario Kart ride, they would literally just do go-karts, but try to simulate the item boxes somehow.
I guess.
They could have totally done that for Rainbow Road. I don't know.
How is there not a Rainbow Road roller coaster? Was it an Attack on Titan thing?
Okay.
Oh, okay, we're not watching this. It's just
Oh,
it's just a
picture,
too stupid.
a photo
It's just a
booth.
stupid photograph thing. Don't pull up the video, future.
All right, let's actually start talking about.
Yeah, we're like 15 minutes in. We haven't even introduced the show yet.
No, we have not.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new little thing called Bars and Tone. Shit.
Really, Brendan? Still?
6 episodes in. And you
Heavens die hard. Welcome to a new little thing called Fireside Chat. No, it's not called that. Oh my god. It's called Media Cocktail
You can do
Podcast Fireside Chat. If I have trouble saying it, how do people gotta Google it? Anyway. Today on our first little what it was ugh. So what is a fireside chat? Well, fireside chat is when we want to talk about something that isn't on the main podcast. It's just kind of a side thing for fun. And we all had after the Smash stream that we had on my Twitch channel, we talked about Universal for a while, and Michael said, "Why don't we talk about Universal as a topic for like a little sideshow?" And I was like, "Okay, that sounds fun." So now we're doing it. Okay, that's the background. Okay, we're just gonna talk about Universal now.
That's the lore.
Yeah, I guess we should probably go into like our personal, like how long we've like, because once again, kind of like going into. Just want to preface it by saying we're talking about the one that we're all pretty much familiar with, which is Universal Studios Orlando.
Yeah, all of us,
Because that is the one that
we are all like some version of a Floridian. We all lived in Florida for a set amount of time. That's how we all got to know each other. So the Universal experience that we're talking about here today is Universal Studios Orlando and Islands of Adventure. But none of us have been. Well, some of us have been recently enough, but like I don't have any experience or knowledge of the new water park they have. Never been. Don't really like water parks particularly. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm just kind of like.
Yeah.
It just seems like a really expensive pool.
Paying money to go into a pool where people have already pissed in. Awesome.
Right. With thousands of other people. No, thank you.
Who are also pissing at the same
Yeah.
time.
This is a pissing contest. Anyway.
Oh, I hate that. I hate you for making that joke.
Anyway, we're talking about Universal Orlando and Islands of Adventure. From, just to put a date on this podcast, I guess from 2021 to... When did everybody first go? I went in like 2003 or 4? It might have been 2005 or 6. I don't remember. It would have been 5, actually. 5 or 4.
I literally can't remember. All I remember was apparently the first ride I rode was a Pegasus. And me and my dad had a tradition where we would go actually like about like 2 times every year. One of them usually being my birthday. And I really enjoy and feel very strongly about Universal Studios. Really have loved it. And just really wanted to talk about Universal Studios since I have a lot of experience with, Universal Studios Orlando.
Yeah. It's the thing. Is Pegasus in Universal?
It used to be. I'm pretty, like I said, I think it used to be. I think it used to be a ride over on the Universal Studios Isle of Adventure and like the Isle of Wonder. Before it basically became Harry Potter.
Are you sure? I'm Googling it. I haven't
That's
seen
just
it.
how life is.
Was it called Flight of the Pegasus? Maybe that's what.
I think so. Either that or Flight of the Hippogriff.
It might have been Hippogriff.
Maybe? Flight of the Hippogriff was there, but Pegasus...
It would be funny if we just actually figured out that you'd actually been to, like, the Tampa Bay park.
I was all this time going to fucking Busch Gardens.
Flight of the Hippogriff, 2000 to 2008. No, it was the Flying Unicorn in 2008.
That was it, the Flying Unicorn.
Okay.
That was apparently according to my dad at least, the very first ride I rode.
Okay.
If you consider like the Terminator 2 ride to be one, but I more like it's more of like an experience that you watch. And I remember during that time apparently according to my dad, I actually I was like picking his nose because I was like a little infant, like probably like 1 or 2 years old, and I shattered a blood vessel in his nose.
Jesus.
So, first blood.
Got him.
What about you, Will? How long have you been going to Universal Studios Orlando?
I want to say like since 2008, 9. Because it was definitely like, because I definitely remember like waiting quite a few years before being able to actually go to Universal. Because I remember like I went to Disney's parks like for quite some time, but I always saw Universal as like the big kids theme park.
Oh yeah, it does kind of have that like that's like the cool park to go to, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
even in like the commercials, like they kind of push that angle. You know, the kids are looking at their parents or whatever. Like, listen, I'm not a little kid anymore. You can take me to grown up big.
I don't think
parks."
I don't think I'm gonna find it now. But when we were looking at the old maps of Universal, one of them said for boys only or something like that.
Well, it's interesting that you actually bring that up, because one thing I actually had learned was I actually was at my school, my university. We actually had a person who does like a lot of like the marketing and stuff for Universal Studios theme parks.
Yeah. And you beat them up.
And the entire thing that they said that was like they said that, you know, where Disney usually tries to, you know, adapt its like things to like a younger and older crowd, like to the people who are usually about like 10, 12 under, or people like 40, 50 plus. Universal's
It's a family theme park.
It is
So, like,
it's a family theme park, where Universal's actually with its like marketing and its like target audience, it's more for like the young adults, like the teenagers, the 20-year-old somethings, the maybe even like the 30-year-olds.
Oh, speaking of that, they're building a new roller coaster at Universal.
Yeah, the Velocicoaster.
Oh my god, what a terrible name.
But apparently it's supposed to be really fast. And I managed to get my 60-year-old grandfather to come join us to Universal. So he's sipping rad.
65. It's funny that you say that you say 65-year-old grandfather, where my father is actually 64 years old.
Oh.
Now I think he's actually older than that, but
Ugh. Oh, this is so cringe. I'm watching the trailer for the Velocicoaster, and one of them said, "The apex predator of coasters." I was like, oh my god.
ugh.
Okay, guys.
Ugh.
Big burger.
And
can we like chill?
I didn't say 65 specifically. I just said my 60-year-old.
I forgot Poseidon's Fury is at temporarily closed. Oh yeah, it's not even a ride. It's like isn't it like a theme park? Well,
it's a attraction show. Yeah.
I still really enjoy that Poseidon's Fury, because it's at the Isle of Wonder, but it's still like it's probably like the most like, it's just a performance, and it's got like a lot of like interesting cool SFX. I still love it where, you know, you're in that one room and they kind of like flash you, so your eyesight's kind of like, you know, a little light sensitive, and then they like go completely dark, and it just introduces you to this giant ass huge room. I've always really liked that.
There's some neat stuff in there, but I don't know. I know I haven't really seen a lot of those shows at Universal, and personally, I don't really like. I don't go to theme parks to watch those in the first place. Admittedly, I'm just kind of standing there being like, "Yeah, this is neat and all."
I mean,
but I kind of wanted to go on the
it's
rides.
kind of the original idea behind the Universal theme parks to begin with, right? It's like this thing of like, oh, you're exploring a studio set, and we do all this like cool like themed attractions, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like kind of like a tour of the studio in a way.
Whereas in like, I mean, we're not gonna talk about it too much, but like in what is that place called? Universal Studios Hollywood.
Disney World?
No, Universal Studios Hollywood. It's like literally just still a tour of the studio. Like you get in a tram ride and you go around there. Where Orlando is mostly a theme park. Like you go on roller coasters and stuff.
Yeah, makes you feel like you're in the ride, or makes you feel like you're in the movies.
Oh, funny! The Velocicoaster opens this year. It comes out in July, or opens in July.
That's soon,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah, I remember I saw them constructing it, and they were already doing like test runs for it.
It was delayed by the pandemic, apparently. Like it was gonna be sooner.
I mean, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, we basically have been giving you guys like a little bit of like a insider in like how we feel about like Universal. Obviously, Universal for us is very personal. We all have our fair share of experiences with Universal Studios Orlando, and now there is something that we want to talk about, which is the main thing is Universal Studios back then. Back in the good old days, I guess you could say, and Universal Studios now.
It's changed a lot over the years. Which, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
A moment of silence.
Moment of silence for our fallen comrade.
We just list the rides. Back to the Future ride. Jaws.
Jaws the ride.
The ride.
Nicktoons
ride. Studio. The Blue Man Group. Well, no, technically they're still there. The ride that I'm like completely surprised.
Right. Oh wait, that's still there for some reason.
You don't know what I talk about for just a quick second. We probably should talk about this at the end, but whatever. What are rides that are on the kill list right now? Because I've got a kill list in my head of things that they're probably gonna change. But I'm gonna let you guys go first.
So definitely, I think that Toon Lagoon. You had your time, but
nobody recognizes those cartoons
you're a little
anymore.
Old. You're a little dated. Yeah, who fucking knows? I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some people that know Popeye, but who in the actual holy of God and fuck knows anything about Dudley Do-Ride? The only reason I know is because I had a super boomer dad who lived in that time. Yeah. But no kid, nor like most teenagers are gonna know who the fuck that is.
I think that the ET ride
that was on my list.
Might go away soon. Because like thinking about it, that ride's been there for quite a long time. I never really seen any particularly huge line for it, if at all. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's a virtual ride, similar to like a lot of the other ones, but still, Universal has so many other interesting IPs to have rides for, and ET just kind of is there.
ET isn't even a virtual ride. You sit on the bike and you like go around like a stage that they have, and that's it.
Yeah.
They try to recreate that famous moment where like, yeah, we're flying on bike.
But they like try to recreate the building thing, but it's like, again, it was built in like I think the 90s, so you can tell that it's just like when you're supposed to be flying over the city, it's just like the carpet has lights in it.
Yeah.
Another thing that should probably be killed off is the Cat in the Hat ride. Legitimately, that ride hasn't had more than a 5-minute wait time since like the 1990s.
Okay. So here's another little fun game. Little fun game. Okay. We're gonna go into this little fun game mode called "When Was It Built?" And this is when us hosts here have to guess when. Well, I mean, I'm hosting the game, I guess, so I'll know. But the other two have to guess when a ride was built, and guess how old the ride is. Okay. All right. So we all know the rules. The closest is the winner of the round, and we'll come back to this periodically as we get through this podcast. All right.
Sure.
When was E.T. Adventure built?
I already got spoiled by that one. Admittedly, I was gonna tell you when that one was built. So
we'll ruin the bit.
Well,
I did.
Michael.
Well, hold on. That's cheating.
Exactly. I didn't want to give myself an unfair advantage. I wanted to come clean.
Oh no,
Michael. When was it built?
It's like a ride that's very popular from the 80s, but it also needed enough time because I think it was like one of the progenitor rides of Universal Studios. So I'm going to take a guess and say, I wish I knew when Universal Studios was like built though.
That might be a question.
94?
It was opened on June 7th, 1990. The ride is 30 years old.
I'm not gonna lie though. My original guess was going to be like 1995 or something like that.
Hey, I would have won, you jerk.
You sound so tired.
All right. But lay on the next one, dude.
All right, what's next?
Okay, hold on. That's not right. There's no way that's right.
This one's gonna be a hard one if it is right then.
When was Universal Studios Orlando's open?
1990.
Damn, that was gonna be my answer. 1989.
It was built. It was built in, probably like 1980, 1987, and 1999. Timeline of events. Oh yeah, they started it in 1986. The project was completed in 1990. That's when the
objection. Objection, host. I got fucking Prices Right.
Objection. What were the first rides?
We're gonna guess the ET Adventure.
Should we make this a for Jeopardy again? Should this be a subject? Oh, it totally should be.
It should be. I'm gonna guess that the ET ride was one of the first.
Well, easy.
Woody Woodpecker.
Woody the Woodpecker? I don't see it on this list.
Yeah, because who's riding Woody Woodpecker? Yeah. Unless you're a fucking time traveler from 30 years ago.
It was Confrontation. I don't even know what the hell. Oh, I know what Confrontation is.
Yes. Actually, I do know that one.
Yeah.
Because my dad always said that it was Confrontation, but it got turned into Return of the Mummy.
Oh, that's where Mummy is now?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's true. And there's a new ride called Kong. They basically, like, I guess they had like the old like body of Kong in storage, because they now, like, the head I think has been transferred over to the Kong ride.
This is how long ago 1992 was. One of the attractions at the Nickelodeon Studios was the new touchscreen surveys.
Imagine that being a fucking attraction.
I know.
Hey, we have touchscreens.
I know. When everyone carries one in their pocket now.
Yeah. Now it's like, oh, yeah, who cares?
Wow, so cool.
What's funny is they closed down Jaws and then they reopened it with some altered scenes. What does that mean? They opened with it in 1990, closed it, and then reopened it in 1993. What did they change?
I think I know why. It's because they had like a few problems with the Jaws ride of like how close it got or something like that. Or it was like,
my only guess is that Bruce struck again.
It used to be a Ghostbusters ride.
The ride was like so laden with errors. Like apparently Bruce barely even like came up half the time.
That's what I mean.
So
like,
funny. That is actually like perfect.
Basically, you don't experience the movie; you experience the studio hell.
I mean, there's been a rumor that's saying like, you know, when the ride came in, Steven Spielberg came himself, and you know he went on the Jaws ride, which actually, like, on day one, was a fucking problem child.
Yeah.
Because it didn't come up half the time then, and there's a rumor alleging that Steven Spielberg was on the ride, and it didn't work, and Spielberg pointed to like the side and said, "That's where the shark would come up."
Spielberg is like haunted by Jaws. Like I was listening to an interview with him about it, and like even in his like, I mean, he's like almost in his like 70s now. He's either in his 70s or in his like late 70s. And for the longest,
he's done his due diligence.
Yeah, and for the longest time, like they when they wrapped up on Jaws, they took the boat from the movie and they parked it in Universal Studios Hollywood, and people just drive by it every day. But for like 20 years or something, he would just walk to that boat and sit in the boat and do nothing. Like, he was like so scarred by that project that he had to like emotionally deal with it by like sitting in the boat and being like, okay, I got through it. I'm successful now.
What was so bad about
it? Everything broke. It was his second movie he ever worked on. Like, everything broke down. They went way over budget. They were threatening to cancel it like 3 times. The weather was terrible.
Apparently,
the actors
like,
hated it. Everyone was like getting sick. Like
apparently, like filming in the middle of the ocean was a nightmare.
some of the scenes, it was so bad that some of the scenes are actually filmed in Steven Spielberg's old backyard, in his pool.
It's amazing that the movie came out as well as it did.
The movie that is often cited as the first blockbuster was filmed in Steven Spielberg's backyard.
You did it. I did. But at what cost? Everything.
And you get to experience that hell alongside him. Have the Jaws ride.
One of the
have
deepest.
fun.
I just find it so crazy that he had to sit on that boat and just do nothing. Like he just turned his brain off and was like, "I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay," for like 20 years.
No,
And then the only reason why he stopped was he came back one day and the boat was gone. They had torn it up.
my man's actually like had like PTSD episodes, and the only way that he could fucking like cope was to go on the boat and relive the experience, and just telling himself the war's over. Yeah. I could go home now.
And like think about what happened in that 20 years that he was still visiting the boat. So like he was finishing like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom or whatever, and he would just go back and sit on that boat for a little bit.
Finish his first contact, go sit in the boat.
That's so crazy. Poor Steven Spielberg.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That is crazy.
It's really the most ironic thing about Steven Spielberg is that he really loves like the classic movies of like Hitchcock and like the 30s era of filmmaking, but he's like partially responsible for the death of that brand of movie. Because of Jaws and Temple of Doom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Universal.
All right, but yeah.
Yeah. So
But Brendan, we never got the kill list from you.
Oh, a kill list? Oh, this is pretty easy. Okay, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. E.T. dead, gone. Fear Factor, no idea why that's still there. That's probably gonna go as well.
Oh shit! Why are they still doing that?
Men in Black, totally gone. I'm surprised that's still there. The Mummy, hell yeah, that's gone.
I disagree with you. I actually still have fun in MIB.
Well, no. This is not like, oh well, I had fun. No, I'm saying like, what are like studio brains that like don't even give a shit about any of this, that are just solely looking for market cash grab.
I would have like disagree because I'm like, no, that's still popular. But then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't think it's nearly as popular as like some of the other ones.
The longer we go, the longer I don't think that people will have a working memory of Men in Black, especially coming off of that movie that didn't do too well. Like if that movie had done well, I would have been like, okay, yeah, you know what, they'll just rebrand it as the new thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can see that now.
All right.
Unless they do a fifth one, they bring back Will Smith again.
All right.
Who knows?
All right. You know, I agree to disagree. What's next?
What's next? Okay, well now we're gonna move over to. Well, I already said the Mummy. Then we're gonna get rid of the Mummy. Even though the Mummy is popular, at some point they're gonna ditch it, or rebrand it.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I think there's two options of the Mummy. One that I think
popular.
is more likely than the other. I think the most likely thing to happen to the Mummy is that it gets rebranded as the Tom Cruise thing that they tried to do.
Oh, Mission Impossible or something like that?
No. What are you talking?
No.
There was
the Tom Cruise
a Mummy
movie
reboot that came out like 3 or 4 years ago with Tom Cruise.
It was trying to be like the Universal Monster Cinematic Universe. It's called like the Dark Universe.
It was stupid. It was a bad idea. They were just trying to cash grab. Anyway.
Well, it's kind of ironic though because Universal originated the whole cinematic universe with their monster movies. Like remember House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula? So if anything, it's just really funny that they failed since they
You lost your
Universal.
roots.
You started this and you could not succeed a second time. How dare you? Anyways, but yeah, but even then though, I don't see that happening because that movie tried to start something and then it died.
Yeah. So I see them trying to rebrand it as that, or it gets shut down and turned to something else. Now, if they did that, that would be getting rid of a coaster. So I think that they're not gonna like tear it down. I think they're just gonna rebrand it into whatever is popular. So if there's something that's like dark enough to justify a dark roller coaster, because again, it's an indoor roller coaster, so everything's dark. You'll do that then. But it's on the list of things that are like. Again, this is not the list of things like I would get rid of this ride. This is the list of things what is going to be gone in the next 15 years.
Actually, I find it kind of funny looking back on some of the rides over time. They obviously like changed the video. Like, you know how whenever you're waiting in the ride, like they have those little video footage playing for you to like look at whatever.
Yeah.
And I noticed like for the Hulk ride or some of the other ones, they changed what was playing. Like I remember for the Hulk one, it was this 2D animated stuff showing Bruce Banner and like him experimenting with the gamma radiation, and then they changed it to
become the Hulk.
Yeah, thinking about it, I'm surprised that that the Mummy ride hasn't changed at all, because you know Brendan Fraser hasn't been like nearly as relevant in the last 10 years or so, or any of the other. I don't know. Maybe it's just because they identify with the Mummy branding. Either way, just. I'm surprised that one has been keeping up as long as it has, thinking that the series hasn't been nearly as relevant or as popular as, say, like Men in Black was.
Yeah.
Because at least that one's been was like pretty popular even like with 2012 with a third one coming out.
Yeah, there was a third one, and then they did the other one recently where they tried to bring it back. So like, there's some justification to say why that would still be there. Although I'm kind of surprised they haven't rebranded it with the new one. And the only reason why, I mean, sometimes you wouldn't do a rebranding because something is popular. You would do a rebranding because we want to update it to be the newest thing that people know, right? And the newest thing that people know is the newest movie. That's why all the Star Wars stuff is like based off the prequel, or not the prequel, sorry, off the the sequel trilogy. It's not just because like, you know, that's the thing they're trying to market right now, which is partially true. But it's also like that's the thing that's like in people's memory the most, you know.
The most relevant Star Wars at the moment.
Like, no one's got to get a Willow reference. And
That would be pretty funny, though, just to have a knockoff Hobbit walking around fucking the cantina or whatever.
I definitely think they're going to expand Harry Potter world at some point. It still seems like they've got a lot of land to work with.
Yeah, because literally Harry Potter world has been their golden goose, so much so that it's not only on one side, but both sides of the park.
Yeah.
And I only capacity. Like one of those rides.
It doesn't even make any sense. Like, the fact to have the second Harry Potter world in Universal Studios, because Universal Studios is supposed to be like the backlot thing. It's supposed to be the thing of like, okay, yeah, you're visiting the movie set. But it's not that, like, at all.
Yeah, and well, I think like most of the rides are on the Islands of Adventure side, but I could be.
There's a lot more rides on the Isle of Adventure side than on the Universal Studios side.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like the Harry Potter rides are mostly on the Islands of Adventure side, and I think like Hogsmeade is more on Universal Studios.
Yeah, there's
side.
one ride there. It's like Diagon Alley.
Yeah,
is
Escape from
the bad
Gringotts,
side or
which
whatever.
I think that is. Which I think is like an all right ride. It's at least like it is at least like a proper ride, which I can give it that. Which with some and this is going to be like the big thing, which is I don't think that, you know, the video thing is inherently bad. I just think that especially over on the Universal Studios side, they have way overused it. They have gone into more of just like, hey, we're just going to do CG and like use a projector for a while. They did it for pretty much like everything new except the motorbike ride.
Hagrid's motorbike ride.
Yeah, they did it with
and the Velocicoaster. We can't forget the Velocicoaster.
They did it with Transformers. They've done it with like practically everything new so far.
Fast and Furious.
But what about the Velocicoaster?
Fallon. What about the Velocicoaster?
I don't know. We'll come back. I was talking about before going in like September, before we started recording the show. So if we do actually go in September, we'll add an extra episode with a review of the Velocicoaster.
Here's an updated review of the Velocicoaster. It sucks.
Moving on.
Bye.
We'll record it in the part too, and don't think I'll forget, because I won't.
Yeah, but I just think like it's like not. It doesn't mean like my favorite ride there is still in nostalgia is like most of this. I will admit, but is the Spider-Man ride. The Spider-Man ride is so good, in my opinion. It makes you really feel like you're there. The motion is like all great. The story is like nice and fun, just like a Spider-Man like comic would be. But literally, Transformers ride is pretty much a retrack of Spider-Man ride. Fast and Furious, very short, not really fun, in my opinion. Jimmy Fallon, unless you're like a big Jimmy Fallon fan, not worth it.
That's something else I think has an expiration date. I think that's gone in the next 10 years. Absolutely.
The Jimmy Fallon ride?
Huh.
I'm ready for it.
I give it like 5.
You think 5? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that just making in general is kind of a bad idea. It's, who else is gonna, how many people is gonna know, like, all these, like, it's just basically inside joke the ride. How many people actually will know who hashtag the panda is? I feel so it's like a joke that I don't understand, but they just relied on it so much.
Yeah. I just can't believe why would he make a ride out of a late night host? Like,
I don't know. Maybe they got paid enough.
no, they own him. They own his contract.
So I want to play that game with you guys. When do you think that ride?
2014.
Was built? Mike?
I feel so that he might be like looking at the thing. That's what I'm scared about. Are you looking at the thing, Brendan?
I wasn't.
Did you remember it?
No, I just had a solid guess. I am looking it up now, actually. And I'm not gonna change my
guess
answer.
Is I remember it being pretty recent, so I'm gonna guess 2016.
2017.
Wow.
I knew it.
So this ride has been around for 4 years.
My mind is an enigma. Okay, so guess where I got the 2014 year from?
Oh,
Rip It Ride a Rocket.
When Jimmy Fallon and Kevin Hart rode the Rip Ride Rocket in June of 2014.
How did you remember that
I have
date?
no idea.
So apparently that Jimmy Fallon ride is actually built, or it was where the Twister show was.
R.I.P. Twister.
Yeah, because there's like so many good rides that these rides had taken over. Jimmy Fallon took over Twister, which it was like once again nice, like a nice like SFX, like experience. Like it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna pretend like you're behind the scenes. I remember it actually scared the fuck out of me.
Oh,
as
it
a
did
kid.
me too. My parents could tell that story.
Same here.
Especially when it like it would like go on like fire and shit like that, and like the cow would go around. I'd be like, I'm going to die here. I'm just going to fucking die on this floor.
The coolest part of that ride was like how practical it was.
Yeah. I remember I was standing there, and like eventually the Twister came, and I'm just like, it's okay, it's just a screen, it's not gonna come towards me. The sun, like they had the actual Twister form, like God,
That, and what used to be there? It was for what was there for the Fast and Furious ride? Disaster, also known as earthquake.
Yeah.
And
I don't think I've
Or
ever been on that one,
confrontation.
but I've
No,
seen
confrontation was the Mummy. We just agreed on that. Okay, so now it's once again time for the game show. When was the ride opened? Okay, I'm gonna do that little like echo effect there. So there you go. I have so much work to do with this stupid episode. My goodness.
This is supposed to be a one-off.
I know, right? And it's gonna be about as long as like a traditional episode, and with more work because we have to do a video component. Anyway, when was Twister Ride It Out, which is the name of the attraction, opened?
1998.
You didn't pull it up, did you?
That was gonna be my guess.
Will?
1999.
Fucking Price is Right bullshit.
May 4th, 1998.
Woo!
When was Confrontation opened? This should be easy.
Isn't it? Wouldn't it be like the same year? Like, what
1990.
was it? 1998, 1990.
Correct. Both of you are correct. It's 1990, June 7th. It was one of the opening parts.
Yeah. You told us.
Yeah. When was Disaster opened?
Do you remember?
What was
Disaster.
2000?
Fuck you, Will. 1999.
Fucking Price is Right.
Disaster
bullshit.
opened in 2008.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking? It's probably because Disaster was named Disaster, but the ride Earthquake was probably older.
Earthquake, the big one, was the original name of the ride. And
Yes.
it opened in 1990 and was the ride until 2007, in which it changed name to Disaster. Why? No idea. Do I care to know? Not really.
Oh, I do actually know that. It's because kind of like for like all the other things that you're talking about, Brendan, they thought that no one would remember the Earthquake movie.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
probably. When was the
But
Rip
the
Ride
reason I
Rocket
it.
opened?
2008.
That was solid. A lot of
2010.
confidence there. You're both wrong. August 19th, 2009. Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Damn.
I remember it was about that time because I remember like Reddit Rocket was going to be like the shit
Yeah,
when I was growing
I
up.
remember that too. When was The Revenge of the Mummy opened?
Confrontation. It would have to be. I'm gonna guess 1999.
I'm gonna guess 2004.
Will, do you have it open? Okay.
No.
Well, I guess the way to answer. Yeah, it's 2004. Because it probably came out with the Return of the Mummy movie.
Well, that's what my
Yeah.
thought was, because I'm like, well, that movie didn't come out till 2002, and they would have at least needed like a couple of years to work
Yeah.
on it. So
I don't know movies.
All right, this is the last one, and then we're gonna close this segment.
it's kind of funny though, because you said 1999, and I'm pretty sure that's when the first Mummy movie came
Yeah.
out.
Hell yeah. I'm so good.
When was the Hulk roller coaster opened?
That one's
1998.
98. Michael,
96.
you're both wrong. May 28th, 1999. I didn't even know it was that old.
It seemed about right, especially when I remember it was pretty much like both of them had the style of Amazing Spider-Man from the 90s.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. This one's running a little long already, and then a little work already, and then your hosts here are pretty tired. We had to do this one a little late because we're recording over Easter, so everybody had to find a scramble of time to make it work. So this is what we're gonna do to end the show. What are your top
but we made it work.
three rides? We're gonna do our top three rides. Each of us are gonna say our top three rides and a little bit of 3 sentences of why, and then we're gonna end it, and we'll do a part 2 at some point in the future with the covers history of the park. Maybe we'll get there. But we're gonna cut it off and call this part 1 after we talk about our 3 favorite rides. Michael, what are your 3 favorite rides?
My three favorite rides. My number one favorite. It's always been. I absolutely have still loved the Amazing Spider-Man ride.
Yeah.
It's got such a nice simple story to go along with it that feels just like out a comic book. I mean, fucking levitating the Statue of Liberty and no one's being able to find it. That shit can only work in fucking comic books. The motion and all the special effects of it are nice, from Green Goblin's throwing his fireball and it actually making a fucking big explosion of fire.
Well, yeah, because what makes the Spider-Man ride really unique amongst the other virtual rides was there was like a nice mix of virtual and practical effects.
Yeah, and also like when you were like going up, it actually felt like you were actually like going higher and higher into the air with a feeling of like floatiness.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much I could talk about for the Amazing Spider-Man ride. I love it. Number one, always. Number two, actually, is one that I have not actually ridden until recently, which is the Hagrid's motorbike adventure.
Really?
Yes, because before then, it's a Harry Potter ride, so of course it's going to be super busy. No, it always has like 2.5 hour, maybe even 3 hour waits, and I just never had the time to just wait in line like that.
Oh man, that makes the 45-minute wait time I've seen seem really generous.
Yeah, even like I was like surprised by you because it was like we came in like pretty much in the middle of, or ripe and early on a Monday, and it was still about like an hour wait, with like COVID and everything.
So I got really lucky then. Damn.
Yeah, but I actually like really like it. I'm not exactly too big into Harry Potter just yet. I am planning on reading the books pretty soon, and depending on how much I like the books, I might try and watch the movies again. But it has like a nice little like thing. Like it's like really nice and fun with like some of the things. Like you'll like go up ahead and like start going up, and then it'll be like, oops, out of power, and then you'll like start going backwards. So like it has like a lot of like humor and like the ride of its own. It has like a lot of surprises I was not expecting. Like as I said before, going backwards. Had like a little animatronic of like this giant scorpion thing. And also like literally like you drop down from like a top track to a bottom track. And I was like, oh man, that's so fucking cool. And it really fucking picks up really fast. Third favorite ride. That's a hard one. I probably honestly have to say Return of the Mummy. Return of the Mummy. A part of me does want to say like Incredible Hulk, but I think like more than anything, I am a big ol' fucking sucker for charm. Return of the Mummy has that in spades, where it's like it's like a nice little coaster to begin with. And probably the best thing about it is like how it like will like try and like play with your expectations. Where it's like, all right, you're like at the bottom of this thing, you see the mummy, right up above, and then it'll open its mouth and just like suddenly you're speed running to its mouth out of like nowhere. There's another part where it will be like, thank you for riding the Universal Ride, and but then you'll like see like the light show going along and being like the mummy actually attacking him, and it's like, you haven't escaped me yet. And the roof will go on fire. Just a bunch of like fun little things that they do with the ride. Those little details make it like so good. And those are my top 3 rides. Well,
I'm gonna actually go in reverse order. So, third favorite, I probably would have to go for the Hulk.
Okay, that's a classic. That's
fair
solid.
enough.
Yeah, I think part of the I think that one was actually the first ride I ever rode, so I might have been nostalgia bias. But it is just a great, fun, classic roller coaster, which you don't really see a whole lot of in Universal Studios. Like a lot of the rides, like themselves, try to introduce like a lot of gimmicky animatronics and all that. But for the Hulk, just the general like speed, how like right from the get-go they just shoot you out of the tunnel. It's really great. But it was mostly just it wasn't really a ride with any gimmicks or anything, but I kind of like that it was just a traditional roller coaster.
Okay.
So for my second favorite, would have to be the Hackard Ride as well.
Always number 2.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny though, because beforehand I rode all of the other rides. I think actually with the exception of the Hippogriff one, surprisingly. But I rode like Escape from Gringotts and the Harry Potter one, and I'm honestly not a huge fan of those ones. And once again, the virtual rides doesn't really do it for me all that much. I can't get the same feeling out of those rides as I do like actually moving around, or with some exceptions like Spider-Man or the Simpsons Ride actually that does the whole motion or VR motion thing really well.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Hackard Ride, I was going in expecting it just another VR ride or whatever. And so I sat down, and I actually sat down on the driver's side. So, and I gotta tell you, going at those top speeds while actually like holding onto the handles like you're actually riding the motorcycle was pretty badass. Now, admittedly, the what is it? The holders or whatever, the thing that keeps you like, sit tight. There have been times where I'm like, is this really gonna work? Because I feel like I'm about to slip out at any moment. Because it only ever like comes, or it only like covers your legs, or like comes down on top of your legs. So it's like, if you just position your legs just the right amount. I don't know. Haven't tried it. I don't want to. Because again, it goes really fast, so it's. But with that said, the animatronics were very charming. You even got to see a freaking Hagrid animatronic, which was kind of awkward. Not gonna lie, because he can only have so many range of motion. But it was nice to see them try to recreate this scene or these scenes with what they had.
Yeah.
And for my favorite ride, it would have to be the Men in Black one.
Well, that's funny.
Really?
You did say it. It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah. Well, the main reason I say that is because it's kind of funny when I criticize. That one, I feel that one has a lot of personality to it because the entire gimmick of it is that you're shooting down aliens. And so I think that's a good use of the animatronics and all that, because it's not just something that you stare at, but it's something that you yourself have to like, interact with in a way.
Okay.
And seeing as how like, there's a lot of lighting effects going on. It's not like you can like fully see them. I'm trying to wear this. So it's like, since you're trying to target on so many other animatronics, like your dart's always going around. So I guess in a way you can't really process all of the cheap animatronics. But again, personally, I just love the interactivity of it. It doesn't necessarily try so hard to make you. I guess it's not a VR, right? So that's a plus for me. Doesn't have too much of the fake motion. And yeah, I just like the interactivity of it. Being able to shoot your aliens and make it feel like, hey, you're actually like in MIB testing facility. Though I swear to God, I can never get above that average rating. I've never gotten a below average, but I never gotten above average. And I'm like, is there anything like? Do you get like a different scene if you get above average? Like, what happens? And why can I not get above average? I get 100,000 points. What the hell?
I'd never know, because like one of like the gimmicks is like you're supposed to press the button.
Yeah.
The red button at like the right, like when you're being at the very end. But I can never get it right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like it's like the first one who gets it out of like the two carts.
What? I always assumed it was like the first one in just the car in general.
I don't know.
I have no idea. I didn't even know it was a point system.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like that's the whole. God damn it.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Brendan, what's your top three?
I want you guys to. So I'm gonna start with, again. I'm gonna do the thing that Will did, which is reverse back from 3. But I want you guys to, before I say 1, what the number 1 is, I want you guys to think in your head what it might be. And then right before we get to number 1, I'm going to ask you guys what you guys think it is, and then I'll say it, all right? Should be pretty easy.
Your number 1 is Rome Total War: The Ride.
Actually, it's Rome Total War 2,
The Ride.
The Ride.
So that's the tweet. Anyway.
Rome Total War 2 remastered the ride.
Anyway, for number 3, it was kind of like a hard choice between 3 of them, and then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, you know what? They're all like relatively close to one another. In terms of like my favorite rides. But there's like there's just enough in between it to like make the distinction. And so for number 3 is probably the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket Roller Coaster.
Well, there goes my guess for the one.
Well, don't say it. Just rethink it. Geez, well, don't out yourself. Anyway. Just be like, well, I had no clue. You just be like, okay, well, he said that. All right, well, let me rethink that. Anyway.
I guess I gotta die. You know, that's just what I do.
Anyway, I just love that roller coaster so much. My only problem with it is that it's actually a little short. Like, it's only clocks in about like 2 minutes. But like, I just love that you immediately start just straight up going 90 degrees up. I remember like wanting to go on that ride for so long. Like, I'm a little kind of a short guy for those that don't know. So it took me a little bit to be able to be tall enough to be on the ride. So I remember like seeing it built and being like, okay, well, I gotta wait until I'm tall enough. Like, I was like, I don't know, 15, 14 or whatever.
Mm.
I remember going the first time I went on it with some friends of mine from high school. It was actually the time I actually got to go on it for the first time. I got to ride it like 3 other times since. All 3 of those times were like memorable experiences for one reason or another that I don't want to talk about. And I just love like the theme of the ride itself, which is like these like punk rock kids that is like, it's like straight out of the 90s, and it's so like just out of touch in a really funny way.
Gonna make a music video.
Yeah, like it's like it's back in the days of like when MTV was cool. Like, it felt like, you know, like late 90s, early 2000s kind of a thing. Like, it feels like out of time, out of place, and for a ride that opened in like, what did we talk about, like 2009? Like,
yeah, actually,
like it just feels like oddly out of place. But I love it. Like, but it adds like a charm to it. I think is really, really cool.
Okay.
I actually remember you can. So you remember how you can sort of add your own like music to your.
I always pick Sabotage.
Yeah, that was always like probably like the biggest thing. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to access the hidden menu because like apparently you can access like this little numpad or if I put in certain codes, you can get access to more songs. And I was trying to get access to Led Zeppelin's "Immigrant Song" because that's on
that's
there.
funny.
And I'm like, that's cool. So I tried to do the thing, you know, or open up the hidden numpad, and I had my finger on there, and it wasn't showing. Still wasn't showing. I'm like, God damn it! And so I let go, or take my finger away to try again, and the numpad shows up and then disappears. I'm like,
the ride was glitched. Oh, that's funny.
So unfortunately, you're just gonna have to get where the hood at.
Oh yeah, what, like they just randomly pick one? I hate that.
Yeah.
Anyway, for number 2,
sorry, big on.
It'll probably be Jurassic Park River Ride Adventure. It was like the ride I like was desperate to go on as a kid. And I think I went on it the first time. When I was at Universal, it was one of the ones I remember. And I was like, Jurassic Park used to be my favorite movie for a long time until about college. So I just love the Jurassic Park universe, and I love like, I mean, who doesn't like dinosaurs? Especially as a kid, like who doesn't like dinosaurs? Come on,
lame people.
Me.
Like I said, lame people.
Anyway, I just really love that movie, and I love like just being in that universe was kind of a cool experience as a kid.
That's actually really fascinating, especially seeing as though we were talking about it earlier, and you didn't seem too like interested.
Oh yeah. Anyway.
maybe I guess that explains why Brendan was so upset at the Universal Studios Hollywood
Jurassic World, yeah.
I wasn't upset. Hold on. You guys are giving the indication that I was like sobbing. We'll change the ride. I just said like the way that they did the Jurassic World thing, like, it doesn't make any sense for like what the ride was supposed to be. But anyway.
Yeah, you're just salty.
Yeah, I'm just salty. Anyway. So I told the guys like again like a second ago. What do you guys think the number one is? Michael, what do you think the number one is?
You're throwing me through a goddamn loop with this one. Because those are two that I think are good, especially I think like the Rocket the River one is pretty alright. Not like top 5, but it's pretty okay.
Oh yeah, like the River Ride is like an okay ride, but for whatever reason, like I love it because of the Jurassic Park connection, because of like the childhood thing and all that stuff.
Fuck, what would be your favorite ride? It's definitely not MIB.
All right, I'm gonna give you a little more time. Will.
Damn. Let's see. If I had to guess,
I think I'm gonna take a shot in the dark, and I'm gonna say the Simpsons Ride. I don't know why. AKA previously known as Back to the Future.
Will. All right, I'm gonna give Will and
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Fuck it. I'm just gonna go for Revenge of the Mummy.
Will is right.
Damn it. Now that you said that, I was like, fuck, he did say that earlier.
Yeah, Revenge of the Mummy is my favorite ride. I love the movies, even though I think they're terrible. Like, I still think they're like a fun thing to watch. I just love like how you like descend into like the mummy's tombs, and then like it turns into a movie set, and then it's back to the tombs. Like, it's so funny. And they have like stuff from the movies, so they just obviously just threw it in there. They're like, okay, yeah, dude, do that.
Yeah, they fucking use Brendan Fraser's fucking rag he used to get his snot out. Who cares?
Yeah,
Whatever.
And for all the reasons that Michael previously said, like, you know, that you get to do. They do the fake out at the end where it's like, oh, you think the ride's over? Nope, we're gonna do a little bit more. And just the overall like theme of like a dark coaster. It's so much fun. It's also like I think one of the first roller coasters I'd ever been on in my life. So there's that too.
Mm.
If anything, I think I'd probably put the Mummy in at least in my top 5.
Yeah.
It's still like a really cool ride, yeah.
All right. Why'd you say the Simpsons Ride, Mike?
I don't know. Maybe it was like, cause for some reason I think it was like maybe Back to the Future, but the Simpsons. It's the Simpsons right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Simpsons Ride's alright.
You know what nobody said, and this is what we're gonna end on. Nobody showed any love for the Doctor Doom Tower of Terror thing. All right, bye guys.
I got to that ride like relatively late. My dad would never go with me on that ride. He doesn't like the drops, and I was when I was a kid, I was honestly afraid of the drops. Until I turned like, it's gonna sound like so pathetic, but like 17, to where I went to like my first drop ride at Busch Gardens. So, I only came. It's been pretty recent for me, but yeah.
The show's already over.
Don't feel ashamed, Michael.
All right. Bye. Part 2 later, I
Bye.
guess.